State Affairs is no longer at ease. Can you hear me? Longer at ease, so we're going to continue, okay? And once again, I just want to remind folks, and I've been on State Affairs for 12 years. Most of these folks have been a long time. This committee goes out of its way to be respectful to everybody. And we've certainly done that tonight, and we'll certainly continue to do that. We're asking that you do the same courtesy. Everybody that serves here does it because we have a heart for service. We have a heart for service. We want to do the right thing. That doesn't mean that we're all going to agree, but we're all going to do what we think is right. Now, once again, we're going to allow for 30 minutes more of testimony on this bill, so we need to have the people that this group thinks is important to testify. We're glad to do that. Sir, would you please put the camera down? This young man right there. I think if you'll just take that camera. After we get through with this bill, we're going to have an hour on the other bill, which, by the way, we heard at length during the regular session. I'm going to suggest that if this group has people they want to testify in that hour's time, then you need to decide who it's going to be, and we'll be more than glad for them to do so. But we are going to do this in a respectful way to all the members here, and we're certainly going to be respectful to the folks that are testifying. So with that, if I've got this right, Frances Norcutt, Texas State National Organization for Women and Self, here to testify against the bill.
Yes, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. My name is Frances Poppy Northcutt. I live in Houston. Sarah Davis is my representative. I'm the president of Texas State Now, and am speaking in opposition to the bill on behalf of Now, and also speaking on behalf of myself. The National Organization for Women is the oldest and largest women's rights organization in the United States. Now has supported women having access to safe and legal abortion since the 1960s. I have a personal story about this that goes back to when I was a student in the University of Texas more than 40 years ago, where a good friend of mine almost died from an illegal abortion. So this is a very personal item to me, that y'all are looking at trying to cut down access for women to return to the old days of back alley abortions. Texas women don't want to go back there. We don't want to go back to the days when we had orphanages overflowing all over the state. We don't want to go back to the days when young women were shipped off to maternity homes where they were pressured relentlessly into giving up babies for adoption. We don't want to return to the days when they sought out back alley abortions and died and suffered long-suffering injuries. We don't want girls drinking Clorox, which I've had several girls tell me they thought about doing. We don't want them buying drugs over the internet, going to Mexico, using coat hangers, using knitting needles. I want you to understand something about the medical stuff. I mean, clearly, and you know this is not really about medical stuff. There have been some numbers up here about about national differences in death rates from legal abortion, death rates from maternal death rates. But nobody's actually talked about the situation in Texas, and you need to know what it is. You need to be very aware of what it is, because that's how this really, really, really makes this bill absurd. In Texas, the death rate from legal abortions is less than 1 in 300,000. In Texas, the death rate, the maternal death rate from live births, is 24.6 per 100,000 live births. In other words, sending women off to force them to have babies is 75 times more dangerous than our present rate from our abortions being legal in this state. So don't anyone talk about this being something about maternal health or women's health. It's not. What this is about is going to kill women.
Francis, now remember we don't have a lot of time, so I want to make sure some of the other ladies get to...
Exactly. And I'm at the end. What I want to remind you is, stop protecting us to death.
Okay. Melissa Nicholson?
Yes.
Here, NARAL, pro-choice, Texas, and Representative Selker to speak against the bill.
Yes, thank you, Chair and Committee, for allowing me to testify. I'm Melissa Nicholson, a constituent of Representative Donna Dukes, and mommy to Iris, who is 6, and Sam, who is 4. I'm here to testify against HB 60 and the anti-abortion bills because these bills will serve as a backdoor ban on abortion in Texas. My concern is that they will not protect women's health. It will do the exact opposite. Our state is enormous. It is 268,821 miles for 27 million people.
Folks in the back, please put your cameras down so she can continue her testimony. You're taking away her valuable time. Please. Okay.
HB 60 will reduce Texas to 5 clinics from 47. 5. I know you've heard this number a lot, and I want you to think about it. These 5 clinics will be centrally located in Austin, Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio, making access to rural Texans and those who live in North, South, West, and East Texas impossible. It will take a woman traveling from Brownsville over 4 hours to get to San Antonio, a woman from Beaumont over 4.5 hours to get to Austin, a woman from Amarillo over 6 hours to get to Dallas, and a woman traveling from El Paso almost 8 hours to get to San Antonio. 8 hours. The cost of an abortion procedure will double, maybe more, and women will still have to uphold the sonogram bill's 24-hour waiting period to have 2 appointments at one of the 5 clinics in our state of 268,821 miles for 27 million people. Can you imagine being that woman who would have to take a 4-day, 3-night trip, arrange travel, hotel, child care, and take off work also? These same rules would apply to women who need to take the abortion pill. You would have to do all of these same things to take a pill. 0.57% of Texas abortions are after 20 weeks. Many women who receive abortions, I just want to say this, we are women, we are mothers, we are daughters, but more importantly, we are human beings and we are citizens of the great state of Texas. I am a 3rd-generation Texan. I love this state. Trust us to make decisions about our bodies and our health decisions with our doctors, please.
Thank you, Melissa.
No, that's not Melissa.
That's not Melissa, excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, that was. We're having to pull it up on the computers. It's a little slower, but I'm not going to dock you, okay? I promise.
I'm talking about crew.
Marva Sadler? Okay, representing yourself here to speak against the bill.
Hello, thank you for hearing me out this evening. My name is Marva Sadler. I'm actually representing Whole Woman's Health of Fort Worth, as well as my mother, my daughter, my sisters, and my aunts. I am one of only 2 black women in this whole room, and honestly, this bill is going to affect us more than anybody. And I felt that it was important for me to stand here and look you in your face to tell you that this is an atrocity. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to look at you and I'm going to tell you that as a woman who works in an abortion clinic every day, our regulations mean something. I work from 8 to 5 every day, leaving my children alone sometimes. My children sleep on the floor of the clinic sometimes so that I can make sure that every woman that walks into that door has a safe, legal abortion. So do not tell me that these new laws are going to make any change because my hallway is 2 inches wider than it is right now is not going to make me give any safer abortion than I gave yesterday and that I'm going to give tomorrow. This is a witch hunt. Call it what you want to. This is here to put us out of business, and it is an atrocity. And if it happens, it's on you, and shame on you. This is just as bad as slavery. I feel just as attacked. I feel I'm sick. I've sat here in this chair all night long in an attempt to control my feelings, to control my emotion, to control my anger, and it's impossible. I've watched you guys get up and walk in and out of these people talking, and you want to talk to us about respect. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. I am here only to give my opinion, and I have 3 minutes.
And yours is fixing me over. You're going to hear me out. Members have other committees that they go to. There's a lot of things.
But it's still disrespectful, and it still appears very disrespectful, sir. I'm respecting you. Respect me and let me finish.
Okay.
It still appears very disrespectful.
Please.
So as a group, we are here to give our opinions, to give our heartfelt emotions, our thoughts, and to actually give you fact, which is not what you have coming in this bill today. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Stephanie Rand, representing herself against the bill.
I'm representing myself. I'm a mother. That's the job I listed when I signed up to speak today. But my maiden name is Reyes, and I come from the Rio Grande Valley, where a lot of women who live in colonias.
I want to make sure for the record.
I'm against this bill, 100%, and I come from Bobby Garrett's district in
No, I said we want to make sure you got your name right.
Stephanie Rand.
Okay, thank you.
My maiden name is Reyes. I'm Hispanic, and I'm representing a very underrepresented group of women here today. Women from the Rio Grande Valley, many of which do not have plumbing, heating, who live in dirt floors, who rely on Planned Parenthood for birth control and for abortions. Abortions aren't something that women willingly go and want to have, but it's something that should be made available to them. What you're doing is disenfranchising an already disenfranchised group of women, and those are women living along the Texas-Mexico border who are going to be cut off. And the fact that many of you can't make eye contact with me is sickening, and it shows me that you don't care about Hispanic women in the Rio Grande Valley. You don't care about their access to free health care. You don't care about their ability to have reproductive rights. This is just another way this is just hidden bigotry is what this is, because it's going to disenfranchise black women and Latinas. These are the women that are not going to vote for you and pad your coffers during election year. But let me tell you something. I'm going to remember every single one of you. And during election year, I'm going to make sure that you do not get reelected, because you do not have the best interest of the women in the state of Texas. You have your own best interest at stake. Because if you were ever encountered with an unwanted pregnancy, you would understand the fear that you are faced with, the fear that I was faced with. I chose life. I chose to have my daughter, but I reached that decision on my own, knowing that I had options before me. I don't know that if I had been forced to have a child, that I would have embraced motherhood the way I did. But the fact that I had options and I chose that was my choice. I am a Christian. I believe that there is a God, but it is my God, not everybody else's God. And I am nobody to tell somebody else how they should decide for themselves, and neither are you. You sit up here, but you are not in the lives of the millions of Texas women who know best what's best for them. You should not decide for them that they should bring children into the world that they know they, one, cannot afford, or two, do not want. And the reality is that some women do not want children, and you're going to make them bring children into the world. And near when we hear about women who don't want kids, when they abuse them and they kill them. We've heard stories about people who are happy that they had babies. Great. But you know what? There's a lot of women who've chosen abortion who feel confident about those decisions as well. And we need to acknowledge that. We need to acknowledge that there are women who felt cornered into bringing children into this world. And you know what? We're going to hear about that down the road when it shows up on the daily news. Vote against this bill.
Okay.